Hej och välkommen till en ny video. Jag har lite så här brist på idéer om vad jag ska göra. Och jag märkte en jätterolig grej som går runt på TikTok just nu. Att det är en tjej som frågar så här quiz typ om kroppen. Och jag tänker det kan vara roligt att se en läkare göra det. Jag har inte sett de här videorna så det blir en sån här first reaction. Ni får gärna svara på frågorna med mig. Jag kommer lägga upp typ videon här. Så att vi kan svara tillsammans. Så kan ni se om det gick lika bra för er. Om vissa saker var svårt, om saker var svåra för mig. Så jag tänker vi kör på det.
Quiz about the human body. It gets harder for every question. Duet and blind react. What is the hardest substance we have in our body?
Our teeth.
Our teeth. Speaking of teeth, how many teeth does the average adult have?
32.
32. What body part never stops growing?
Nose and ears.
Your nose and your ears. Where in the body can you find the tibia and fibula?
Tibia, fibula, leg, lower leg.
Your calves.
Calves.
What is the strongest muscle we have compared to its size?
Masseter.
If you said tongue, that's a common misconception. It's actually your jaw muscle, the masseter. What is this bone in your arm called?
It's the humerus.
Humerus.
Varför får jag panik?
What neurotransmitter is released in huge amount when you work out?
Endorphins.
Endorphins. Pfizer and Moderna are what kind of COVID vaccines?
mRNA.
mRNA. How many biceps muscles do we have?
2.
We have 4. One in each arm and one in each leg. Last question. What is this process called?
Syfoideus.
The xiphoid process.
Samma. Hallå vad, det gick ju typ bra. Oj. Den spelades av. Men det gick bra, va? Okej. Nästa. Okej.
Quiz about the human body. Quiz about the human body. It gets harder for every question. Duet and blind react. What's the most common eye color worldwide?
Brown.
Brown. What's the name of our stress hormone?
Cortisol.
Cortisol. What shouldn't you eat if you have celiac disease? Gluten. What's the name of the tube that carries food from the mouth to the stomach?
Esophagus.
The esophagus. What's the name of these sharp teeth? Right here.
Canine.
Canines. What's the name of the area on the back of the knee?
Poplitea.
Popliteal area. What is our largest nerve? Sciatic nerve. What bone is not connected to any other bone?
Någonting annat.
The hyoid bone.
Nej, jag skojar.
What letters are used to describe the waves in an ECG?
QRS. PQRST.
PQRST. And the last one. What is formation of new blood vessels called?
Revascularization.
Angiogenesis.
Fan. Angiogenesis. Jag var så nära. Okej, det här var svårare. Okej. Vi får se nästa. Okej, låt oss.
Quiz about the human body. It gets harder for every question. Duet and blind react. Which part of the cell generates energy?
The mitochondria.
The mitochondria. What connects muscles to bone?
Tendons.
Tendons. What are the bones in our ears called?
Stapes och andra.
Ossicles. How many ossicles do we have?
3.
3 in each ear. What does polyuria mean?
You pee way too much.
Excessive urination. What kind of joint is the ankle joint?
Horse saddle.
A hinge joint. People with Hashimoto's disease have a problem with which organ?
Thyroid gland.
The thyroid gland. Where in the body can you normally find Sertoli cells?
Sertoli cells. Liver? Nej.
In the testicle. A positive colon sign is bruising and edema around which structure?
Appendix.
The umbilicus. And last question. A choriocarcinoma is the cancer of which organ?
Placenta.
The uterus.
Uterus.
About the human body.
Jag börjar bli såhär. I don't know shit. Okej, nästa.
Quiz about the human body. It gets harder for every question. Duet and blind react. What color does venous blood have?
Dark red.
Red. What are you afraid of if you have hemophobia?
Of blood, scared of blood.
Blood. Splenomegaly is the enlargement of which organ?
Spleen.
The spleen. How many bones do we have in our wrists when we're born?
Like 7, 8, I don't know.
0. If you have thrombocytosis, do you have too many or too few platelets?
Too many.
Too many. People with von Willebrand disease have a problem with what?
With clotting factors.
Clotting. What is measured using an orchidometer? Testicular volume. Where in the body can you get a Jardiway fracture?
What the hell, the wrist?
in the nose and the nasal septum. And last question, which syndrome is known as trisomy 18?
Inte.
Edward syndrome.
Ja, Edward. Nu, om du har trisomy av 21 så är det down. Hur skulle jag komma ihåg det där?
Quiz about the human body. It gets harder for every question. Duet and blind react. Pneumonia is the inflammation of what body part?
Lunga.
The lungs. What is considered normal body temperature?
Mellan 36 och
Roughly
37,5.
37 degrees. What do you have if you have hypoglycemia?
Too high blood, little blood sugar.
Low blood sugar. What's the name of the bone that separates the two nasal passages?
Septum.
Vomer. What kind of collagen is present in bone?
Type 3, 2.
Type 1. Where in the body can you find the corrugator supercilii?
Whatever.
Right here, the wrinkler of eyebrows. What kind of joint is the elbow joint? A hinge
Saddle.
joint.
Ting.
Where in the body is ADH or vasopressin produced?
Pausa, jag vet.
Hypothalamus.
Jag fick inte tänka.
What kind of skin cancer is the most common?
Melanom.
Basal cell carcinoma. And last question. What's the name of the disease where the body's immune system destroyed the myelin around nerve axons? Multiple sclerosis. About the human body, it gets harder for...
Jag får panik. Jag kommer kunna säga det här med henne nu.
Quiz about the human body, it gets harder for
harder.
every question. Duet and blind react.
React.
What is the white of our eyes called?
Sklera.
The sclera. What organ produces bile?
Gallbladder. No, liver.
The liver. What's the medical term for red blood cells?
Erythrocytes.
Erythrocytes. Hallux is another name for what body part?
Big toe.
Our big toe. Name our second largest bone.
Humors.
The tibia. What's the most acidic part of our gastrointestinal system?
Stomach.
The stomach. What bone is comprised of the ilium, ischium, and pubis?
Small intestine. What? No.
Our pelvic bone.
Pelvic
The
bone.
deficiency of what vitamin can cause scurvy?
D.
Vitamin C.
C.
What's the inner layer of our blood vessels called?
Endothelium.
Endothelium. And last question. What body part can be transplanted from a dead donor to a living recipient?
Skin.
The cornea.
The cornea. Jag vet inte vad jag ger mig själv på den där alltså. Sheesh. Okej, sista nu. Jag måste acea den här, annars inte det sista.
Quiz about the human body. It gets harder for every question. Duet and blind react. What is the smallest muscle we have?
Någon i örat.
Stapedius in your ear. What is unique about every human?
DNA.
Our fingerprints, but also our tongue
Men
prints.
det är DNA.
What are the smallest blood vessels called?
Capillaries.
Capillaries. What blood type is considered a universal donor?
O negative.
O negative. What is the top layer of the skin called?
Epidermis.
Epidermis. What is the name of the area of the brain that controls fear?
Amygdala.
Amygdala. What is the name of the pigment in your skin that makes us tan?
Melanin.
Melanin.
Melanin
What do you
melatonin,
have if
so.
you have anemia?
Low
A
blood.
lack of healthy red blood cells. What is the name of the part of the brain that controls language?
Wernicke, Broca.
Wernicke's area. And the last
Ja,
one, what is the name of the two first cervical vertebrae?
Atlas och
Atlas and axis.
Axis. Atlas man kommer ihåg, Axis den var jobbig. Vet du när jag ser en till? Det där går inte bra, det är inte okej. Okej alla, vi testar den här. Sista, kom igen.
Quiz about the human body. It gets harder for every question. Duet and blind react. What percentage of the body is water?
Typ 65, 70.
Roughly 60%.
Okay.
What connects muscles to bone?
Tendon.
Tendons.
frågat där,
What
va?
is the primary muscle of the chest called?
Pectoralis major.
The pecs. Pectoralis major. Where in the body can we find cones and rods?
Retina.
In the retina of the eye. What is the second layer of the skin called?
Dermis.
Dermis. Nails are primarily made of what?
Collagen.
Keratin.
Keratin.
What is our largest artery called?
Aorta.
The aorta. What do you have if you have hepatomegaly?
Increased liver size.
An enlarged liver. What cranial nerve innervates the pupillary constrictor?
Optical nerve.
The third one, oculomotor. And the last one, what is the everyday term for sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia?
Hicka.
A brain freeze.
Det var bara ett långt svårt ord och jag vet att när vilka är sådär hyper bla bla nervatus bla 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 diafragmatus. Skit i. Jalla. Så vet du, det där var faktiskt mycket svårare än vad jag trodde. Och jag vet inte om jag vågar lägga ut det här eller inte. Men alltså lyssna! När man ska säga saker snabbt, när man inte får tänka, då blir det svårare. Hur gick det för er? Nu kommer jättemånga som kommer bara, det var jätteenkelt. Kunde du inte? Nej, okej, vet du, saker är svårt ibland. Så tack. I alla fall. Men vet du, om ni gillade den här videon, comment, like, subscribe. Glöm inte att följa mina andra sociala medier. Jag har både TikTok och Instagram. TikTok är jag mest aktiv på. Instagram har jag börjat bli mer aktiv på, så där kan ni också följa mig. Jag brukar lives på TikTok. Jag brukar svara på mycket frågor på Instagram. Så YouTube, kommentera vad ni vill se i nästa video. För sanningen, jag vet inte vad jag ska göra med min nästa video. Så skriv gärna vad ni vill att jag ska prata om. Och så gör jag det, förhoppningsvis. Okej, that's it. Tack. Bye.